Rules. It has zero welding, all through body. It was only seatbelts. Well, we're to that point right now on this car where we're going to put a cage into this. But we're going to do a little bit different of a cage than what you guys are used to seeing me put into cars. Usually you see me take a tube bender, bend some tubing, weld a whole bunch of it in. But for this cage, we're going to have to put something away. We're going to put the welder away. That's right. This cage that we're going to put into this car is a zero welding cage. So it's a super easy design and is made by a gentleman here in Ontario. Nick Green is his name, and he owns a company called NG Customs. It's a small company, and I highly recommend these cages. As you can see here, we got it torn down on the floor. I have done some upgrades to this cage to make it suit my needs more than basically it came factory. We will not be putting this in the car. This is for a 4-point harness. That is a very nice addition to this cage, but we mostly need that for the enduros. What we will be using is basically Nick's full setup that he has, plus a little bit of my own setup, which is for the door bars. But I do not have a gas tank protector for this. I'd maybe like to build one as well and get it put onto the car, but that's future. Let's get this thing installed, and I'll show you guys how simple this cage is to go into this car. Now with this cage, it's pretty easy to install this. It's pretty much easier even if you start with the doors closed. It is an unbelievable, ingenious cage that I absolutely love, and if I get enough money this year, I'd like to purchase a second one. So what we have right here is we have an upright that comes tight to the edge of the door that will actually bolt through this skin, and it mounts to the floor. So you just put it down. We've already got the one on the other side. Now the next piece to go in is a crossbar that connects between there. We're just going to basically put all this in there and keep it finger tight for now until the time comes when we have everything in there and we can tighten it down. So just extend this to where it needs to be. Just like that. The whole thing goes together with 3/4 bolts, so everything's basically 1 1/8 inches. And once you have all this hardware, I just put it back into this container along with all the tools I use to put it together. It goes together so quick, so smooth. I love this cage. If I had the money, I would buy a lot more pieces to this cage from Nick Green. There's a piece that can be used for a gas tank protector. He can custom build just about anything you want. Now this here wouldn't be that hard for myself to build. The only real problem is the amount of holes. There's so many holes in this, and they're all drilled pretty precision because everything lines up really good, that it's not worth my time to buy the steel and drill the holes, because I'll burn out 100 drill bits on this steel doing it. Well, maybe not 100. 3/4 bits. You're talking 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then that's 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. You're talking 100 holes that you have to drill out to 3/4, and pretty precision holes as well. It would just burn out the bits like crazy. So I find it much cheaper just to buy this from Nick Green and support a local derby company and a local derby business. And I love doing that. Once you have the inside of your car basically finger tighted together, that is basically it for the inside almost. You just got to tighten it up and put some more bars in there. But now you can start working your way onto the uprights. Now these uprights just slide right down inside of there like that. Just make sure it doesn't grab your fingers because it would hurt. Slide this to it. Put your bolts through. Again, I'm just doing everything finger tight, just kind of getting the thread started. That way I can get everything in, because I don't want to start tightening anything until everything is in. Because if you start tightening something and it's not lined up properly, you're just going to give yourself a hard time, a headache, and you're not going to have a good time doing it. Extend this bar out, slide this one down in the upright. And that's basically the whole cage installed right there. I do have a couple add-ons that I'm going to add to the cage. Like, I personally built a set of door bars, a passenger door bar and a driver door bar. Just like this. So how this door bar works is this sits on the outside of the door, like basically on the sill. And then this bolts to the cage. And every hit you take, it just pounds into there. I do put a little bit of a tack weld. That's just about it. And everything goes together really nice and smooth. But what I really like about these cages is, yes, they're quick to put in, easy to reuse, bang for your buck. You reuse it repeatedly. But what I like about it is you're able to customize it to fit the needs that you want. This cage didn't come with door bars. But a buddy of mine was racing and he needed door bars, so I built him a nice set of door bars when I rented him the cage for the weekend, and it passed the race car tech. Since then, I've ran these door bars in just about every car, and I like how versatile this cage is, and you can basically build anything to add on to it or purchase another thing from him. But bolt-in cages are starting to become a very, very big, I'm going to say, accessory or add-on to a derby car, just because of how quick, how simple, and how versatile they are. This cage here, I've had it in anywhere from a Toyota Camry, a Cavalier, an Acura TL. This is a Mazda 3. I've had it in a Honda Accord. This thing switches from everything. This will go right up to a Crown Vic. Now that we have the door bars in, what we have to do is we have to take these two uprights and push them tight to the outside walls. And how we're going to do that is we're going to stick this tip of the pry bar in there and kind of pry this so it goes out this way. Once it's spread out, we're just going to drop a bolt through it. That one there seems a good length. We'll drop that one through it, and then we're going to put two into there. So let's get started on this. that, so let's put this one through. So there's the inside crossbar done. And with that done, you can move on to the next stage, which is basically the uprights. Now with the inside done, you can move to the uprights. Now the uprights are the easiest part, these pieces here. What I do is I count the holes. I got 3 holes showing here. I got 3 holes showing over there. That's good enough for me. I'm just going to take this and shove it through there. As long as they're the same height, that's what you're going for. Now with all the uprights and the inside done, you can spread this one here on the roof to match what you did on the inside. Now you want these bolts to go down. So what we're going to do, we're just going to get it and we're going to put this placeholder in. Sounds stupid. That's just going to keep all the holes aligned. Now we can drill right through the roof and put our bolts with washers on the bottom, so that way that this bolt attaches to the roof. So let's get those holes drilled and then we'll bolt this through the roof. Let's just gently help that through the hole there. Gently, nice and smooth, my friend. Pull this one out, because it's no longer needed as a guide. So what we have done now is we have basically the whole top of this cage done. Well, we're going to break out the impact gun and we're going to tighten it all down now. Now with everything tightened down for the overhead and the uprights and the side to side, we have to drill the 2 holes through the door that attach it to the door, and then just the last hole through the floor. Now to drill it through the door, what I do is I get an extension and I just have one of my step bits inside this, and you need a longer drill bit. Again, I don't really use drill bits too much, I mostly use step bits. But we're going to drill the hole, the bolts are going to come out. I don't care if I just sink the tip in. Yes, that is just a tip joke, but we're just going to get it and mark the sides, and then we'll get our 3/4 bit and punch them out to the right size. Now with all the sidebars put in, what we're going to turn our attention to is right here. Now this is something I added to this NG Customs cage, and what we're going to do is this now lines up with the outside of this pillar. So we're going to take a hammer and we're going to hit it as far ahead as it will go, and then we'll just put a tack weld. Now this tack weld is just to hold it there. As you get hit, it'll hammer it in and put more force actually into the safety cage of the car. Cars these days are built with a cage around you. Anyway, this here I find never comes off. The tack weld's just to help hold it stay there if you get hit this way, but realistically those don't move, and I only put crappy little tack welds and I've never even had them break. So let's get these hit ahead, and we'll put a tack weld here and we'll put a tack weld on the passenger side. But as soon as that's done, this cage is installed. So there you guys have it. We've installed complete bolt-in cage into this car, and everything went pretty smooth. No real issues. I love these bolt-in cages. If you guys are interested in getting one, please go on Facebook and talk to Nick Green or NG Customs, or I do believe they're being sold at Fab Farm right now. Thanks for watching Zach's Workshop. Take care. Make sure you guys hit that like button and the subscribe button, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. This Mazda 3 is almost done. I think tomorrow what we're going to tackle is the fuel pump wiring and maybe a good first startup video, as of I haven't really started it since I've dropped the gas tank, and that was almost a week and a half ago. So yeah, see you guys tomorrow.